Welcome to CNN's Blackmailing 101. Make a mean meme with CNN and we'll dox you, harass you, and get you fired. Because CNN's a people too.
In the morning.
Oh man, the internet is pissed off today. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Breaking Badger News. I'm your host, as always, your friendly neighborhood Simpsons kid, Max Starrett, and joining me today to work through this shit pile, she is the pun master, and what is it that the crusher? Please help me out, Hannah. Save
I don't
me
know,
from
pussy
myself.
something. I can't remember at the moment either.
Pussy
Pussycat
something.
Punster or something like that.
Right, yeah. She makes puns and she punishes people that mess with her. That's all you need to know. She is Hannah. Hannah, thanks so much for doing this with me.
Glad to be
short
here.
Notice. And I can't believe that it evolved to this. See, Hannah and I did a video regarding this whole situation a couple days ago, which you should all go watch, where we addressed the whole meme controversy. You know, obviously, if you've been living under a rock, I'll just bring you up to speed. Apparently what happened, President Trump, tweeted out something on his Twitter feed that a lot of people saw as an incitement to violence against the media, when all it was an old wrestling clip featuring Donald Trump pummeling some guy. But there was somebody on the internet that took that clip and superimposed the CNN logo over the face of the guy that Donald Trump was beating up. And Donald Trump shared that last Sunday. And ever since then, people that lack any sense of humor or knowledge of what absurd humor is took this as an incitement to violence. Well, we got a new update for you regarding this whole story, and I found out about this last night, like right before I was about to go to bed, and as soon as I saw it, I just thought, oh man, me and Hannah are gonna have to cover this tomorrow, aren't we? Jesus Christ. Well, here's what's happened. CNN identified the man who created the Trump wrestles CNN meme, and his Reddit username is Han Asshole Solo, and he first shared the meme last Wednesday. CNN found the man using identifying information posted on Reddit, and they searched his name on Facebook and tried to get in contact with him through email and phone. He obviously didn't pick up, but the following day, yesterday, by the time we're recording this, he put out an apology on the Donald subreddit, and I'll quote you this apology just so you don't have to go read it for yourself. First of all, I would like to apologize to the members of the Reddit community for getting this site and this sub embroiled in a controversy that should never have happened. I would also like to apologize for the posts made that were racist, bigoted, and anti-Semitic. I am in no way this kind of person. I love and accept people of all walks of life and have done so for my entire life. I am not the person that the media portrays me to be in real life. I was trolling and posting things to get a reaction from the subs on Reddit, and never meant any of the hateful things I said in those posts. I would never support any kind of violence or actions against others simply for what they believe in, their religion, or the lifestyle they choose to have. Nor would I carry out any violence against anyone based upon that or support anyone who did. The meme was created purely as satire. It was not meant to be a call to violence against CNN or any other news affiliation. I had no idea anyone would take it and put sound to it and then have it put up on the president's Twitter feed. It was a prank, nothing more. What the president's feed showed was not the original post that was posted here, but loaded up somewhere else and sound added to it, then sent out on Twitter. I thought it was the original post that was made, and that is why I took credit for it. I have the highest respect for the journalist community, and they put their lives on the line every day with the jobs that they do in reporting the news. Obviously, a couple hours after this post was made, the Donald subreddit removed the post. Anyways, CNN says they are not posting his identity because he is a private citizen and he apologized. However, what Hannah and I are here to talk about today is the following. CNN says in this post that they made on their main website that they reserve the right to publish this man's identity should any of this change. How is this anything but blackmail, Hannah?
Oh, it's not anything but blackmail. And I got a couple of things to point out. First of all, the only people that have ever taken this as an incitement to violence is CNN and its supporters. There hasn't been anybody who's actually acted violently because of this meme. And there hasn't been anybody that's made any threats because of this meme. This meme itself is not a threat. So this is basically a freak out by CNN over something that is not that big of a deal. They literally freaked out to the point of doxing somebody. And to be really blunt, this is a snowflake on CNN's staff that was so offended at a meme that he engaged in what, under the Violence Against Women Act, would be considered stalking. And now he's using victim signaling as his excuse. And this idea that these people put their lives on the line every day is bullshit. If they're not in a war zone, if they're not going into gang neighborhoods where there's actual shooting taking place, if they're not in the midst of a riot, they're not putting their lives on the line. Most of the journalistic community does not cover life-threatening events where they put themselves in the midst of a life-threatening event. Now, that's not to say that when they do, their lives are not on the line, but this is hysteria. And I think we pointed out the last time that the people who have used violence in the midst of this modern political conflict have mainly been on the side that CNN is defending. So this whole thing is ridiculous. And to bully this guy into submission over a meme demonstrates not that our side is violent, but that theirs is.
Yeah, being in these online communities, this is very much reflective of times where we've seen people in our own community, people like, the first example that comes to mind is Mundane Matt, where his personal information was held hostage. Now, thankfully, he took it upon himself to sort of beat them to the punch, and he doxed himself. But obviously that led to unfortunate things following that event, like him being swatted. And I have no doubt, like you said, that this particular snowflake over at CNN knows that the possibility of this happening could, in fact, lead to devastating consequences for Han Asshole Solo down the line. And it's not just us that are recognizing this. There are people like Julian Assange that are recognizing this. In a tweet that he made on his Twitter feed, he apparently thinks, and a lot of other people think, that CNN just committed a crime violating Section 135.60 of the New York Criminal Code for coercion.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a coercive act. They basically gave this guy a reason. Like, that apology does not read like it was written by the guy himself.
Oh,
there
I don't believe
are
it for 1
aspects
second.
of it that have buzzwords, and I sincerely doubt that this guy, this shit poster, who self-admitted troll, right, put buzzwords from the left into his apology. So I would say, yeah, it's coercion. And the other end of it is it's according to the Violence Against Women Act, this is either stalking or harassment. And it's very specific. It says anyone in the United States who, with intent to intimidate, engages in a course of conduct that places a person or their immediate family or their spouse or intimate partner in significant or substantial emotional distress, or would be reasonably expected to cause substantial emotional distress, is guilty of stalking or harassment.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a situation where I would say it would be reasonable to expect that this person would experience substantial emotional distress based on the threat that CNN has made against him.
That's the thing. I don't understand how an organization like CNN, which at one point in history might have been the biggest news organization on the planet, cannot understand the legal problems that this sort of situation has, or that necessarily come along with it. Rule number one, in particular, when it comes to blackmailing, you don't publicize that you're blackmailing somebody, even if it's somebody that you disagree with ideologically.
No, you definitely don't. I mean, honestly, the best course of action here would be to not blackmail the guy in the first place. Like I said, they're blowing this all out of proportion. This is absolute hysteria. And the best thing that CNN could have done would have been to ignore it. That's it. Just ignore it. Because obviously now everybody knows that this gets under their skin. I mean, you saw last night, meme after meme after meme. CNN is basically punching themselves in the face.
Just alluding to what you said there, it is all about ratings, and that's the reason why they aren't ignoring this, because they know for a goddamn fact that exploiting this will drive attention to their network. Just to conclude everything here, press corporations want to be able to say whatever they want about individual people, but not have any criticism leveled against them at all. And they think they have that particular power because they are a corporation. At the end of the day, this is just the fifth estate making a naked play for power. And I think that I don't want to admit it to myself, but it seems like they're so blinded by the power that they've had for so many years that they can't see the immediate consequences of doing something like this.
Honestly, I would challenge CNN to compile a list of actual right-wing violence against left-wing reporters that matches the list of left-wing violence against right-wing politicians.
Yeah, they'd have to go way back in time to like the Salem witch trials or something.
And I mean, until they can do something like that, until they can demonstrate that here in the U.S., their reporters are being routinely attacked because of things people said on the internet, they're just going to look stupid from doing this, even to their own viewers. Even their own snowflake viewers are criticizing them over this. So I don't think what they're doing there is going to work.
The fact of the matter is, if they were to do what you suggested, Hannah, that would involve honest reporting. And if they were to do that, they'd probably come to a conclusion that might actually support Trump in a way, and they can't possibly have that. Well, anyways, that'll do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us on this particular edition of the Breaking Badger segment. If you have any particular thoughts on this story, if you have any other news to share with us as this story develops, make sure to leave your thoughts and comments in the comments section below. If you like this particular video, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. I promise you it'll be worth your while. I want to thank Hannah for joining me again to talk about this particular story. It's very interesting. We'll see where it goes from here. And until next time, try to have a lovely day.